Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, live from the nation's capital, you're listening to the Exceptional Conservative Show. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation. First to the Republican and then the Socialist, I'm yours truly, the Exceptional One. Glad to have you here in a week where we're doing just monstrously great, getting bigger and better with each passing day. Tonight we have two superstars of conservative talk that'll be joining us. Of course, the diva of business, none other than Melanie Collette. She has a great show coming up in a couple of weeks starting out, Money Talk with Melanie. Y'all got to stay tuned for that one. And of course, none other than a certain peer that I look up to, and certainly one of America's best conservative commentators, none other than Willie Lawson, the Willie Lawson Show. He will be on in the latter section of this first hour. Janis Hall, the J. Hall World Report comes back at 10:05. I am telling you, I am so excited about tonight and about what's happening with SHR Media, where we're being heard live, hppundit.com, where we're being heard live. Also, Red Nation Rising, the Liberty Channel, 2 a.m. You can hear us. Thank you, guys. Wow, what a wonderful, wonderful evening. I hope that you like the attire that I have on. God bless our servicemen and women for all that they do for our country around the world and here at home. We are 20 days short of the beginning of the administration known as the Trump administration here in the United States of America. There's much excitement, much pause. All that we know right now is literally Donald Trump is the man. And we saw that with the swearing in today of the 115th Congress. They were pushing an ethics bill. And if you listen to the narrative, this is why you got to be very careful with this Congress, because you got Ryan, you got Mitchell. They don't know how to handle the left's narrative. They're trying to be liked. Donald Trump doesn't care whether you like him or not. It's just that pertinent here. It's forget you. But he encouraged them to put aside the ethics committee gutting that it was being reported as, but literally it was a bill that should have been passed if it was done in the right way. And so we'll talk about that in the latter quarter of our show. Of course, Mary Brockman, my bouncer, is in the chat room. God bless her. If you diss her, you diss me, you will be dismissed from our program. Mrs. Biggs is watching us via Ustream and live stream. For those who are watching us via Ustream, you'll see the little flags right behind you. For those who are watching us via live stream, you got the big flag on this particular side. This is what I want you all to do. I want you to take off your hats. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Haircut time. Take your hand, put it over your heart, because we're about to pledge allegiance to the United States of America. For those who don't know what that is, it's how we show value for our beliefs and for the work that others have done to protect this nation and to keep us free. Here we go. Here's the little handy dandy tool if you don't know how to do it. Right hand over heart. Here we go. Take it away, kids. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Woo! There we go. Put that thing aside. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you, I am so excited about what we're about to do. I am truly, truly Claudia, glad to have you here. Love you. Glad to have you in the chat room. I am truly excited about what God's doing with TECN, the Exceptional Conservative Show. Uh, have the lovely uh, Janis Hall coming back in the second hour. We're going to love talking about the forum. I've been missing that. But I want to let you all know that I am just ebullient over the fact that we're going to have two great superstars coming to our network. And wow, I'm just immensely proud. Uh, wow. And so let me do this first. Let me wrestle up on the phone a young woman who's about to take business to another level, I assure you. And quite frankly, I don't think there will be any that will be able to follow in her footsteps. This is how far ahead we're going to be, ladies and gentlemen. None other than the adjunct professor at Rowan University up in New Jersey, a teacher of technology and business, none other than the lovely Melanie Collette. Professor Collette, great
Hello
evening.
there.
It's a pleasure to have you on the air with us tonight.
How are you?
I'm
Thanks for
excited.
having me.
I am excited. You know, I am super excited, superty duperty excited.
I'm a little hyped. I'm a little bit hyped.
You should be.
I'm not a bit hyped, actually.
Tonight, I have the grand pleasure of speaking with the diva of business. Business. And business is not spelled the same way in urban America as it's spelled everywhere else. It's B-I-D. So
it's business. It's business for show.
business for show.
It is business for show.
Oh my goodness.
No doubt about it.
When we started this year, we ended last year with Shannon and Mike coming on in the mornings at 7 a.m. Their show is taking off like gangbusters. And we added as well in the afternoons Lonnie and Ralph, Lonnie Poindexter, Ralph Chittum's. The Right Way show is in the morning at 7 a.m. The Right Guys are in the afternoon at 4. And those shows are taking off like gangbusters. And then God led me to two great people we'll be talking to tonight. Melanie, our first guest, and of course, Willie Lawson, our second. But gotta ask you, Professor, why do radio? Why did you say yes to this request? And don't tell him I was begging. Don Vito.
Yeah. that too.
Yeah.
Well, because, urban America is so strongly entrenched on the plantation and just refuses to get off no matter what. And I've had the privilege and the benefit from people in my life, from some very people who were not on the plantation, which is why I'm not on the plantation.
Yeah.
I've worked for some very wealthy Americans who have saw fit to teach me some things financially, which is why I decided to get my education. And so I've come to know some things that I'd like to share with urban America. But part of that, too, is they really need to understand that it is okay to deviate.
Yeah. Exactly.
Norm. It is okay to be yourself. It is okay to not be a follower.
Yeah.
Especially when that means your own empowerment. As I said in the summary that I sent over to you, progressivism is the killer of empowerment. It's the death knell of financial independence, and it certainly is. And so, the financial progressive policies are what kills our independence.
Mm-hmm.
That along with lack of education, obviously. But this all ties into that. Part of the reason why Barack Obama won twice, I believe, is due to a lack of education basic economic principles in urban America. And I mean globally, domestically, and in their own household.
Exactly.
And I'm hoping that I can contribute to changing that.
Well, you will. I know. I know you, and I know you will.
That's what I'm hoping.
I feel sorry for the fool that comes against you, but the
I try to like give a little warning first. Are you certain that this is what you want to do? Is this a conversation that you would like to have? And then some, hopefully decide that they're prepared.
Kind of like the young woman that got beat up in the cage, Miss Bosey, who came out and said she's black. I get it. I suppose when you go in the cage with Melanie, you will come out thinking you're black. So there you go. I'm just saying.
You're gonna have some problems.
You're gonna have some issues. Yeah, the elevator won't be hitting the top floor no more. But Melanie, I am just honored by the fact that you have such an immense amount of talent in the field of technology and computers, and as well as finance. And you and I both know that on this reservation called the Plantation, two things you are assured of. One, you are assured that you were supposed to be born a Democrat. The second thing is you're supposed to be guilty. You're supposed to feel guilty because you got money. And I am just so blessed to have someone who understands that mindset and can change it in 45 minutes or less, just listening to the show without the commercials.
Why not? I can do. I'm gonna pull out my magical wand and do that. Actually, I've told my students that I'm magical, who are mostly white. I actually I had my first black student this year. I've been teaching the same school for 3 years, in this particular school. But I told my students that I'm magical. Some of them, and they just laugh.
Yeah.
When I solve their programming problems, when they can't figure out what's wrong with their program, they're like, Ms. Collins, how did you do that? Ms. Collette, how did you do that? I'm like, it's because I'm magical. And I say to them, we're all magical,
You people. Ladies and gentlemen, Melanie Collette's with us in this first quarter hour of our program. And we will also be introducing you to Willie Lawson in the last half of this first hour of our program. But I just want to introduce you to two people who are about to rock the world as they get ready to start their inauguration week. They're with their new shows on the TECN, the Exceptional Conservative Network. We're going to take a pause. We're going to come away for a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Obama. We're going to talk about Trump. And where do we go from here? Again, our financial guru, who will be on the air Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 a.m. starting on, 10 a.m. starting 10 a.m. That's right. Don't mess that up. I've been accused of being a Don Vito and making people work extra hours for little pay. We'll be right back right after these messages. You're listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. You're listening to the Exceptional Conservative Show, and you're listening to all of that on High Plains Pundit Media. You're listening to it on SHR Media, and both of those are live and at 2 a.m. on the Liberty Channel, Red Nation Rising. We'll be right back.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America, TECN Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk than TECN Sean and TECN Clint. And we're working on immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work here too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best late-night conservative talk, TECN Radio. The best late-night conservative talk show in America. In America. In America.
in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.
Good morning.
I'm Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Okay, folks, that's not how it goes. I think I'm Shannon and
I think
you're
so.
Michael.
Yeah.
Okay. We are The Right Way with Shannon and Mike.
Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Live on SHR Media.
And on TECN.
Where we'll be talking about all kinds of things.
From sports and politics.
To food and entertainment.
To money.
Family.
And anything else in between.
Community, holidays, all kinds of things.
It'll be great. Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, Pundit Press, Live, Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the great pleasure of introducing to you Adjunct Professor of Finance and Technology at Rowan University, New Jersey, who is now the new hostess with the mostest on our network, the Diva of Business, Melanie Collette. We're just so anxious to have you on the air. I want to ask you in terms of this, because everyone's excited about you coming on. I believe that you got a note from Sean Lewis, the president of SHR Media.
I certainly did.
And of course, in here tonight, and we have to bow when he comes into the chat room because he's all that in a bag of chips. Danny Butcher, who's called Dan the Man Butcher, where Jane does all the work for hppundit.com, but he gets all the credit. He's excited as well. But everyone's excited, and one of the things I'm excited about is when you look at television shows or television networks that appeal to the urban marketplace, say a BET or a CNN or things of that nature. Whenever they do those type of shows, they don't really focus on finance or economics. It's always on a social justice end. Can you tell me how destructive that has been for our culture?
It's been very destructive, and here, the thing is, I was just looking at a study, being the nerd that I am.
Go girl.
Studies is what I do. In the interest of full disclosure, I'm in the second year of my doctorate, so I read studies. But I was looking at one the other day on blacks and consumerism, and all we do is buy dumb stuff. We don't invest, and we're short-sighted in our thinking. That's why very few of us are entrepreneurs. Not enough of us are entrepreneurs. Not enough of us invest. Not enough of us are prepared for retirement. Not enough of us budget. Not enough of us prepare for our kids to go to college. Do the simplest of things that would have us progressive as individuals, let alone as a people. So, and part of it is that destructive message that, quite frankly, keeps us following like little sheep. Mm-hmm. So, I think it's an overall control thing that they don't even realize. I have a family member who is one of those, and listen, there's nothing wrong with Atlanta Housewives, I suppose. I don't have time for it. But whenever we have a conversation, it's no idea what we're talking about. I'm like a little less Atlanta Housewives, maybe a little more news. Just saying. So I love it.
It's like talking to talk to the XY version of Dr. Brooks Robinson. Dr. Brooks Robinson is the official economist of the Exceptional Conservative Show. We had him on last month, right before the holidays, and we're going to have him back on for right before the inauguration. But he spoke to the fact that we as Black Americans spend more time watching TV than any other social group out there. And literally, it ain't close. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we spend like 30 seconds more. No, we spend hours more watching TV. And that debilitates us in terms of being in the marketplaces. And I talk to people, and forgive me for ranting here, but I talk to people who say, Ken, I want to buy a house, or I want to invest in something. And you ask them, how much time and effort are you putting into it? And they're like, well, I thought I was asking you to do it for me.
Of course. I want to know what kind of programs are available.
Yeah.
To help the sister out. I want to know what's the president doing for me and doing for somebody in my situation, or doing for, I love this phrase, our people.
There you go.
It makes me want to throat punch someone, like, for real. Like, I can't. Who are our people? We don't even do anything for our people. So, if we're not doing it for our people, why would anyone else do it for us? That makes no sense.
Exactly.
So, I can't. Like, I can't. So, we don't empower ourselves. We need to empower ourselves. Many other races do it.
Yeah.
Many other races do it, but we don't.
Now, Melanie.
We're looking for the government.
Melanie, I don't know if you know this, but you're a woman, so you're not supposed to know all this stuff. You're supposed to be having babies. You're supposed to do bad by yourself. You're supposed to be going through so much, so that when you get to church, they should be praying for you in the parking lot all the way in. It's this. You get to this expression, especially amongst women, that there is a ceiling above me. I'm not supposed to do any better than that, and I'm not going to do any better than that. So I'm not going to even try. What would you say to those individuals who want to listen to your program?
According to whom? If that's what you decide, then that's what you decide.
Yeah.
That is your decision. We live in the United States of America, so it is really up to you. Tell that to Condoleezza Rice.
Yeah.
Grew up in the segregated South. I don't want to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear it. I have no time for that. I will not tolerate that kind of talk.
Woo! I'm loving your show. I haven't heard one episode. I'm already loving your show.
And there's so many other examples of successful African Americans, let alone African American women, who have smashed that ceiling. So I don't want to hear that, and I refuse. Which is part of the reason why my time as a public school teacher has been so short-lived, because anytime you're going to tell me about how blacks need a handicap and blacks need a little extra to get ahead, you're telling me that I'm lesser than.
Yes.
Or how wonderful it is that my dad, died during his dissertation, so he was a PhD, and how they couldn't believe that. And I was like, yeah, Barack Obama's not all that awesome. My dad was an articulate man, okay?
Yes.
Who could speak well. And I wouldn't trust him as president either, and I love my daddy. That's not impressive to me. I went down a rabbit hole. I'm sorry.
No. That's fine. Listen, I want people to get to know Melanie Collette. She's not only a great professor, a great scholar, but she's a down-to-earth human being, a great woman. And I really believe it's true. It's true. And well, when we go out to dinner with Mrs. Biggs, when you come to Washington, I'll make sure that you get a salad. My wife would be eating a salad, I'll be eating a steak, because that's the kind of guy I am. you spoke about Obama, and there's so many. In fact, 97% of black women that voted for Hillary Rodham Clinton. 14% of black men that voted for Donald Trump. Why did the message work better for black men than it did for black women?
I think part of it was the woman thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I saw a video with Ice Cube a couple of weeks before the election, and I think he articulated very well. And never did I ever think that I would be quoting, waxing philosophical and quoting Ice Cube, but
Talk to people.
but he did. He articulated it perfectly. And he said this about Donald Trump, is that Donald Trump is everything that Americans want to be, that he's a Mac, he's a boss. He does, but he's rich enough and wealthy enough to do whatever he wants, when he wants, say whatever he wants. And that's the goal toward which men aspire. And men like Ice Cube. So, you know, I could see how, and 50 Cent, by the way.
There you go. Love 50.
How men like them could totally vibe with, if they're open-minded, I could see how black men could totally vibe with Donald Trump if they just open their minds just a little bit.
Yeah.
And black women, you know, have a whole lot of their own stuff with white men in general. There's a lot of just stuff there.
Yeah.
With white, some earned, some not earned.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So
you know, there's some things.
Are you speaking about the Serena complex? No.
Oh Lord. Did you see that on my Facebook page? There were like 100 posts on my Facebook page about that because I posted that article and I was like, I can't ride with you on that, girl. You know, I've dated both, and both of them can be narcissistic jerks, and both of them can be fantastic. So
exactly.
I'm not. It's, as you know, our good friend Lonnie Poindexter would say, it's the paint job. So it's not the paint job, it's the man.
Exactly. There's certain criteria and characteristics that you're looking for. Now, people are raising the question about her dating Drake, and they had a baby together, and it just didn't work. It didn't click. She says that black men don't, whatever she said, are not. Yeah.
Right. Well, and really what she said is that she didn't say it like the headline said it, but you know the headline was clickbait. That's all that was.
Yeah.
But she said basically that's been her experience, that white men have treated her better than black men have.
No.
Like I said, I've dated black men and white men. I really don't have a preference.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that.
Exactly.
I would not make that generalization.
But we know that Serena is one of the biggest marketing forces, period, when it comes to advertising. Drake works for a record company. The man she's about to marry owns a social marketing company. Do you think finance had anything to you know? I'm not being.
Well, listen. One of my good friends, who's a flaming liberal. I have lots of friends who are flaming liberals. I have another girlfriend. We've been friends since the 6th grade. She's got a doctorate in neuroscience from Penn. She's a flaming liberal, and I love her to death. But one of my other girlfriends who's black, never dated a white guy in her life, but she said it had a lot to do with money. You know, he wouldn't even looked at her if Serena wasn't paid. And I said, her name is Donna. I said, Donna, white men holler at me on the regular, and I don't have any real money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know.
And white men been hollering at me for years. Me and my ex-husband, my ex was white. We dated on and off since we were 14 years old. So, and at first she said, well, sex is one thing, and that's not exactly the way she put it.
Yeah.
They've been doing that since slavery, but marriage is another. So then, of course, I had to tag like 6 or 7 of my, you know, my white brothers that got sisters as wives. So you know, I mean, finance, listen, what white man who owns me is looking at a sister driving a 1995 Hyundai with no education. Like, what's he gonna date her? I mean, I'm just keeping it real.
Keep it real. Keep it real.
Is that who? Like, is he dating you? Like, he's gonna take you to some $2,000 a plate dinner, and you don't know which fork to use? Like, is that really how he's getting down? I don't think so.
Don't think so.
I mean, that's just real talk.
You know what? I am so grateful. I am just so grateful that God is putting me with like-minded people who are just going to be real. Not just because someone told me the other day, Ken, you're not an urban conservative. When I listen to your program, you speak better than most conservatives. You are a conservative commentator. That's your marketplace. But so many have not had in our niche marketplace of urban talk, have not had the pleasure of having people who were very real with them on this matter. The bottom line is, just like the young woman who married the creator of Star Wars. I mean, come on. The attraction is nice, but that wanes over time. Women want security. Women want to know, even if they are multi-billionaires themselves, they want to make certain that the next person that they marry has the capability of providing for their needs. It's about finance and security and economics. And if you ain't got the right mindset, you won't have the right money. Without the right money, you won't be able to provide the security she needs. And then you'll have conversations on Facebook about whether it's the color of your skin. No, it's the green in your wallet. That's what I believe.
Hey now. I had the biggest debate a couple of years ago with some family members about that, because I said I would not date someone who was like, a crew chief at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And my aunt was like, well, what if he was really nice? And I was like, okay, he might be, but I'm 40 years old. So he might be awesome, but potential was cute when I was in my 20s, not when I'm in my 40s.
Exactly.
We passed potential.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you, you can spend the rest of your life listening to Wendy Williams, and you will get your outcome. Or you can tune in to TECN Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. and listen to a true diva of business, none other than Melanie Collette. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter about your gender. It doesn't matter about your race. It does matter about your mindset. And where your mindset goes, your money will follow. And you want your money to work for you. Melanie's going to begin teaching you and talking with you about how to get your mindset in the right order so that you can talk about finance and talk about investment and talk about taxes. Last night I did a tax show. And do you know that show was like the #1 show so far for the week on SHR? People are craving for someone to talk with them and be real about finance. And I thank God so much that you answered my call.
Oh, thank you for asking. I am so excited. I've been dying. I really have been dying to talk about economics and finance. It's what my educational background is. I love technology as a hobby, but I've been dying to talk about this very topic. It's one of my favorite topics, especially in the context of conservatism and the benefits of conservative principles as opposed to progressive principles.
Exactly.
I taught financial literacy when I first started teaching to freshmen. And when we started talking about the different types of taxes and why our tax structure is the way it is, you should have seen their mouths open.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And that kind of stuff I find really exciting. And, the Obamacare was just being proposed at the time, and having the opportunity to talk to the kids about that because it was heavy in the news, very carefully and very judiciously, and like Switzerland, is still explaining what the situation is, not using the words Democrat or Republican, but one side believes this and one side believes that.
Exactly.
That kind of thing. Unlike flaming liberals, I believe it's completely ethically wrong for teachers to indoctrinate their kids, and that's why conservatives are always behind, because we're so, ethically principled.
We're moral. Our morals keep us behind. Ladies and gentlemen, Melanie Collette, and I'm just going to let the gentleman know, my baby sister here, just like Shannon Wright's a baby sister, Melanie Collette's a baby sister. She's single, and I want her to stay for a long time on the TECN, on the Exceptional Conservative Network. So she can't be married to anybody, period. That's just the way it's got to be. No dates either, nothing.
I thought you, Lonnie, and Ralph was all women need a man.
No.
Women can't survive without a man. Men need a woman.
No, we found a good thing in our baby sisters. We're not trying to lose it. Melanie Collette. And God bless you. Thank you so much. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 10 a.m., you'll be listening to this wonderful voice of reason to help you get your financial life in order. It's Money Talk with Melanie. Thank you so much for being on the air with us tonight.
Thank you so much, Ken. Thanks for having me.
All right. That's Melanie Collette. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. The next phone call or the next voice that you'll hear will actually be that of Willie Lawson. Willie Lawson, my very good friend. God bless him. He will be joining us on the TECN as we're bringing back power, true power, to the urban conservative marketplace. We'll be right back. I swear we will.
The bloviating Zeppelin. He's big-footed enough radio shows to last a lifetime, courtesy of Sean, Clint, Ken, and Jersey Joe. Now it's time for him to waddle on his own 2 feet via the glorious SHR Media. Gird thy loins for the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Coming soon to Ossicles near you. Excelsior.
It's a love story like no other. From God's heart to yours. And for 30 years, it's been at the heart of every book, Bible, CD, gift, and resource from ChristianBook.com. Over 500,000 products, always at the very best value. ChristianBook.com. Everything Christian, because it's our story too.
From day's first light till night's last glimmer, your satisfaction is our responsibility. On the range or in the field of duty, you can rely on Brownell's lifetime guaranteed gun parts, tools, and supplies. Anytime, any place. It's how we've done business since 1939. Brownell's.
Want to know the best kept secret in flea and tick control? It's the money you'll save with 1-800-PET-MEDS. Save 30, 40, even 50% on veterinary recommended brands for your pet, and we'll deliver them free right to your door. And now you can get the safe and effective results of a top brand for even less with new Flea for X Plus. 4-way action to kill fleas, ticks, lice, and mosquitoes. Plus, it starts working in 5 minutes to 1 hour and is backed by our 100% happy guarantee. Call now or order online.
Ladies and gentlemen, want to welcome you back to the Exceptional Conservative Show. Thank you for listening to the 1-800-PET-MEDS commercial. This man I listened to early on before I even got started with doing radio, because I wanted to know how to do this and do it right. And this man has set a mark that I could never reach. And I look up to him not only in great confidence as a peer, but certainly as a friend. I want to introduce and some present to others one of the most popular and most successful conservative talk show hosts in America, at least in my opinion, Willie Lawson of the Willie Lawson Show. Good afternoon, good evening, sir. It's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Well, good evening, Ken. Thanks so much. Thanks for the kind words. You know what? We just grind, man. We just get at. I mean, the idea about any of this is we just get after it every day. And we get after it with the right heart and the right spirit, and things work out.
Yeah.
There's no magic to it.
Exactly. But you set the pace, and I'm going to tell you that I listened to you, and I learned how to do it the right way. And I'm going to tell you right now, of all of the people, and I just want to make this known, especially to the baby sister Melanie, love you. But of all the people that I wanted to make certain was on this journey ride with me to where I believe that we're going to go with TECN, I needed Willie Lawson there. You are the creme de la creme. You are an antagonist to the left. You are antithetical to those who purport being on the right but straddle the fence. You have gone into urban America, not just saying this stuff, but actually running for office. And one of the reasons why I wanted you on is because you and I both know there's so many people who want to run for office in urban America, but either can't because they don't have the resources, or in all truth, they don't have the right characteristics to do this. How is it that our media opens up the door for good quality people to run for office?
Resources are going to be a problem. That's just how it is, and you can't let that stop you. So if you're thinking about it, don't worry about the resources part. The biggest problem, the biggest struggle, of course, and I think this is where we come in, is getting people's name out there, getting them the notoriety, giving them enough tape, audio tape, videotape, the ability to get in front of people that you may never have a chance to see. And that's what we need to do. We need to make sure that we find these people and we promote them, that we take the Glow Smiths of the world and the Eddie Adams Jr. of the world and promote them and put them on a stage. You know what? I've been working, since the beginning of, middle of last year on my project Fight Back Media Group. Yep. And that's the whole purpose of Fight Back Media Group is to build a platform, a stage for these people who are running for office, the urban conservatives that have something to say that needs to be said in urban America. The Sonny Johnsons, the K. Carl Smiths, the C.L. Bryants, Shirley Luzars of the world, who have the medicine for urban America and thus America at large. We are building a platform for them to stand on. It's not about me.
Yep.
If it were just about me, it's about building a platform for the people who have the medicine, who have the cure for the ills of urban America, and making sure they have that platform that we're ready to hold them up and shine, and their light can shine in America, and so America can truly be healed.
Exactly. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I know some of you all are listening on Red Nation Rising, and it's 2:50 a.m. And you're about to switch over someplace else. You can always go to SHR Media to get this, or you can come to the exceptionalconservatorshow.com or hppundit.com. You can listen to the show and this wonderful interview with a truly man of stature in the field of conservative commentary, Willie Lawson, who will be joining the TECN family. And I am just honored. I am just grateful for you saying yes. And I hope that you didn't mind me putting the 9 mil to your head so that you would say yes.
I got a plate. You can deliver it. I got a plate on that side. I'm good. No, I'm honored again that you would ask me, that you would think that I could be some part of it, that I could be some help. No. The honor is mine. It's mine, man. Thanks again for thinking about me and considering me a part of what we need to get done.
Willie,
what we all need to get done for America.
Exactly, Willie. I don't know why you have this great angst against the mainstream media, CNN and MSNBC, and I know you watch Fox every moment of the day. I don't know why you have such antithesis to the mainstream media. What is all this fight back stuff for?
Well, my very first real interview was with Andrew Breitbart. He was awesome, and I was absolutely miserable. Anytime I'm starting to feel too good about myself, I listen to that interview again. Oh, goodness. I do. I listen to it again and go, oh, my God, it was terrible. But Andrew said something that was absolutely amazing. He said that none of them can be trusted. He said that probably 5 years ago. None of them can be trusted.
Yeah.
None of them can be trusted. And the only thing conservatives can really do is to buy them, fire everybody and start again, or begin to build our own. And that's what he was doing when he died, building Breitbart. And what I've been watching over time, especially as it concerns urban America, I've been watching the lies, especially with the CNNs and the MSNBCs and the NBCs and the ABCs, and CBSs of the world, that continue to be filtered in to urban America homes night after night, day after day. Not only on the news, Ken, but in all the other programming, all day long. The Talk, The View, the sitcoms, all of them, pushing a dangerous and destructive narrative into urban America, into the place that people who can least afford we can't survive that narrative because we don't have the means, we don't have the resources to survive the narrative. And what's starting to happen is what we saw, and what's happening in Chicago, and we're starting to see around the country. We're starting to see that narrative put young black men in danger around the country because they buy off of the narrative. They buy off of the victimhood, of they deserve something.
Mm-hmm.
They're untouchable because there's melanin in it. They have melanin on their skin. They're untouchable. They're Superman, and no one can touch them. They should be able to do whatever they want to do. And it's this narrative that pop culture and mainstream media continues to preach and continues to put in the heads and the minds and the hearts of the most vulnerable. And quite frankly, it's made me angry.
Yeah.
So it's time to fight back.
Yeah. And there are lots of people, and you and I both go to conferences like CPAC and Freedom Fest and other conferences, and everyone's standing and ovating, and they're, just eliciting such great pronunciations of faith publicly. But privately, when you talk behind the scenes, everybody's like, I don't know if we really can do that, have our own media, who gonna listen to us? Is that crazy talk or what?
It's insane talk. It's absolutely insane talk. I hear the very same thing. Well, we don't know if we have the money for that.
Yes!
And we don't know if we have the blah, blah, blah. But when the reality of it is that right now, on the new Celebrity Apprentice, one of the people who is on is a YouTube star. Something that is new to our culture. She's a YouTube star. She's got over 1 billion views on YouTube. She has a bigger reach than MSNBC and CNN combined.
Yeah.
So don't tell me it can't be done, because I'm seeing it done already. So this whole idea, I think that Mike Hunterby had the best phrase. This bedwetting, hand-wringing nonsense about what we can't do is infuriating.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I'm thinking this myself. I'm thinking, just starting off on an online radio station and getting the reach I was able to get just from my living room, if that's possible, if we organize and pool our resources of money and talent and energy, there's nothing we can't accomplish. There's nothing. We don't have to worry about gatekeepers anymore. We don't have to worry about newspaper editors.
Yep. Yep.
You don't have to worry about the big producers. We don't have to worry about the people at CNN, the producers or directors or Fox News. We don't have to worry about any of those people, because we can do exactly what Donald Trump has done. He circumvents them every single day. That's why they're mad at him. That's why they don't like him.
Willie.
Because he doesn't have to go through them.
Willie, they're telling me, I've had people come to me and say, first and foremost, we'll be celebrating our 7th anniversary on February 28th of this year. 7th anniversary of being in business. And they told me 7 years ago that you ought to just give it up after the first couple of weeks, because this ain't going to work. You being a black conservative in the urban marketplace. And I have one of the top shows in the country. But there are lots of people who are happy with being just the top show. I'm happy being the only one that they get to come and do a speech at a conference. But I'm not happy with that. Are you happy with that?
Not at all. Not at all. It's just the beginning. If we're not making an impact, at least we're where we live,
Bingo.
then none of this is worth it. If we can't make a real impact in the lives of people around this country, in communities all over the country, if we can't start saving lives in Chicago,
thank you.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
My own daughter was taken from me. If I can't change public safety in Washington, D.C., then why forgive my French. I was getting ready to go there. But why am I on the air? I'm not doing this for me. There has to be a change. And the individuals who have been holding us hostage and captive, no matter whether you call it a plantation or reservation or just simply a bureaucracy of corruption, those people who have been holding us back for so long need to be removed, and we need to be as positive as we can in terms of making impact and change. Willie, before we go, I want to ask you, how can people come to your Fight Back Media group? How can people support you? And how can people join us in this fight to take back urban America?
Okay, here's what we do first. You go to fightbackmedia.com. Like the website name? Yeah, I try to make it simple for you. Fightbackmedia.com. And then sign up for our newsletter so I can make sure that you're informed about everything we're doing. Make sure that you know about the show that I'm going to host here on this network when it comes on. And you know what? There's all sorts of ways that you can support us financially if you'd like. You can send me personally prayer. You can send me prayers every day. You can pray for me. Just tell me that you're going to spend 10 minutes of your prayer life praying for me, making sure that my health is such that we can continue this battle, and that God will open the doors that need to be opened and shut forever the doors that need to be closed. That's the best way you can help us.
There you go. My mentor and my very good friend, Willie Lawson. I thank you. I love you, man. And give my best to your family. But we're serious, and we're going to take urban America like it's never been taken before. And I thank you so much for joining in and helping us at TECN. God bless you, man.
Thank you so much. It's my honor.
Thank you. Willie Lawson. This will not be the last time you hear Willie Lawson. His voice is essential to changing urban America. And I can't do this alone, and I don't want to. So as you come back in the second hour, as you support us in terms of raising $10,000 for the Shekinah Ranch in Dayton, Ohio, I want you to also support Fight Back Media the best way you can with prayer, but also with any other resources you possibly can. I tell you, there's some real conservative talk show hosts out there. There are others. We're real. We'll be right back right after these messages. Thank you, sir.
It's a love story like no other.
God bless.
From God's heart to yours. And for 30 years, it's been at the heart of every book, Bible, CD, gift, and resource from ChristianBook.com. Over 500,000 products, always at the very best value. ChristianBook.com. Everything Christian. Because it's our story, too.
Welcome to Protecting Innocence. I'm Pastor Donovan Larkins, and we're going to share with you from a biblical view, but from also a world view of what's going on in our world. Child molesters and sexual predators are growing daily. The sex offender registry is growing in some parts of the country 40% a year. There are close to 800,000 registered sex offenders in the United States of America. Pedophiles are lobbying to legalize sex with children daily in Washington, D.C. Why would our government entertain pedophiles to gain legalization and in spite of the fact that they're hurting children? Several organizations estimate over 500,000 children will be born this year, and they will be sexually abused before they turn 18 if we do not prevent it. So here's the deal. Today's word of protection is scrutinize. Yes, scrutinize. Today's liberal society wants to tell us that to scrutinize is to be unloving. To scrutinize is to be, unchristian. Let me give you a definition of scrutinize. Scrutinize means to examine or inspect closely and thoroughly. Customers were warned to scrutinize the small print. That's an example of what scrutinize is. And today I'm letting you know that parents, you are your child's number one defense against child molesters. That means you have to do your job. That means you have to really step up your parenting. And so today's word for you parents is scrutinize. Scrutinize the relationships that your children have. Scrutinize those adults and children that seek to be in your children's life. Scrutinize, examine, determine whether or not they're good for your children or not. Sexual predators are not going to come out. Child molesters are not going to come out and say, I'm a child molester. So therefore, you have to do your job. Effective parenting will scrutinize the relationships that you have in your life, or you will scrutinize the relationships that are in your children's life. What kind of relationships? Well, a coach. Scrutinize that relationship. And I say scrutinize it to the point, if necessary, that it will be like a thorn pricking that relationship, because then you'll get to know what the true nature of it is. Don't ignore the obvious. I have a policy in my life. When someone shows me who they are, believe it. And so many children could have been prevented the pain of victimization if they just had a parent or parents visiting the school on a semi-regular basis, asking the neighbor, can I come and visit you because your son or your daughter is spending time with my daughter or my son. Walking into someone's home, you can really size up what kind of lifestyle they live. The computer. Scrutinize what your children are watching on the computer. Scrutinize the kind of relationships they say they have on Facebook. Scrutinize is today's word of insight and authority. Now listen to this. Your child's teachers, coaches, scrutinize them. Let them know you will be evaluating their relationship with your children. Without scrutiny, a person can go bad and you won't even know it. That means someone can be good today and then decide that they want to feed off of pornography at night, and then your child ends up being the victim. So, scrutinize. Scrutiny is our word today. Parents, your relationship and your protection over your children is their number one defense against child molesters. This is not a joke. Child molesters are penetrating every avenue of our society. Church. Watch what church you go to, because let me tell you something. When you let down your guard, and when you let down your defense, the molester will be there. Be well. Be safe.
Is your PC causing major headaches? Now there's an easy way to make your computer run like new again. Introducing System Mechanic, America's #1 PC performance software. System Mechanic scans your entire PC for over 200 different types of errors. It then automatically fixes even the most stubborn and frustrating PC problems, restoring full speed and stability in minutes. Visit runlikenew.com to try it free.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back to the Exceptional Conservative Show. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation. First to the Republican and then the Socialist. I'm yours truly, the Exceptional One, Kevin McClinton. Had a wonderful first half talking with the business diva, Melanie Collette, of Money Talk with Melanie. That'll be coming up on the 16th of this month, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. The lovely one will be gracing us with her intellectual discourse on finance, economics, and culture. In addition to that, Willie Lawson precedes her at 9 a.m. following The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, which is growing like gangbusters in the early morning from 7 to 9. He comes on right behind them, 9 to 10, 1 hour show, Monday through Friday. And we're going to fight back, and we're going to take the conservative narrative to urban America. So I thank God. I can't do anything at this point but thank God that he's put so many great people in my life, whether it's Sean Lewis or Clint from Sackheads, or BZ, or Dan the Man Butcher, or Jane, his wife, or Ron Phillips from Red Nation Rising, of course, the professor, Dr. Michael Jones, my very good friends, Lonnie Poindexter and Ralph Chinhams, Melanie Collette, Pastor Shannon Wright, and her husband, Mike Wright. Of course, the unpleasant blind guy, Mary Brockman, my bouncer in chief. If you diss her, you diss me, you will be dismissed. And of course, Janis Hall, the professor, Dr. Brooks. I'm going to mess up by missing someone's name that I should call out, whether it be Celeste or White Mamba or any other. But I thank God for all of these individuals being put in my life, because he knows exactly what our course of action is. And that is to become a media powerhouse so that the conservative message gets into. And while, I'm not saying that I don't reach rural and suburban areas of this particular country and also around the world. I'm not saying that. But my job is to break up that archipelago that has led captive many people. It doesn't matter what race, color, creed, or religion. That philosophy, where you see it all the way from Boston or Maine, Bangor, Maine, all the way around to Seattle, to the south to San Antonio. When you look at that happy face of totalitarianism, that has to be broken. And the majority of those particular places happen to be urban centers: New York, Baltimore, Philly, Chicago, Miami, Charlotte, Jackson, Mississippi. You can go into Arkansas, in certain Little Rock, Dallas, outside of Fort Worth, all the way around to Albuquerque, into Los Angeles, and into Seattle and Portland. When you look at that archipelago, that has to be broken. That can't be broken by us staying on the sidelines and saying, well, at least we got the middle of America. That's not good enough. Having just the middle of America almost lost us the election. Why am I dressed this way tonight? It's because I'm ready to fight. Whether you see me as a general or not, I'm going to lead my warriors into battle. And we're going to take on the weak-kneed, blistering snowflakes on the left and defeat them not only intellectually, but resourcefully, with the power of the tongue first, and then with the heart, mind, and soul thereafter. I'm telling you, we're going to win. It ain't going to be easy, but if you follow me, we will be victorious, because someone's already given me the victory and the plan to do it. I just have to follow him. So as I follow him, you follow me. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up in this particular segment, we are going to talk with the beautiful and vivacious Janis Hall, another one of my daughters. And I am just so grateful that she's back. She's had a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, I think. Miss Hall.
Hello.
Good evening, Miss Hall. It is a great honor and privilege to have you on the air. Miss Hall is the official world commentator for the Exceptional Conservative Show. Welcome back from Christmas and New Year's. Did you have a wonderful time?
I did. I did have a great time, and hopefully you and all your listeners did too.
Yes, I did indeed. And I did have a lot to eat, but I'm balancing that with sleep. So
Good.
now, maybe you want to do a little exercise, right? Go ahead. You can say it. Go ahead. Listen, while you were away, and I really missed you because apparently idle hands is the devil's workplace. President Barack Obama decided that, you know what? I want to stick my finger right in the eye, both eyes of Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, and the Israelis. And I want to make certain that they feel my wrath. So I'm going to work behind the scenes at the United Nations and make certain that a resolution is passed dividing Jerusalem east and west and giving the western portion to Palestine, and saying that because of the settlements that were being built, that the Israeli government is an aberration to international law. Thus, the Palestinians have every right to go to the courts, international courts, and sue the Israelis. That resolution had been put on the table many times at the United Nations, but never had the United States abstained or voted for it. By abstaining, we allowed it to go through. Wanted to get your thoughts on that resolution.
Yeah, that happened. There's been a lot of news. There's been a lot of news, and this is definitely one of the big ones. So, Obama seems to manage to be fitting like 8 years of foreign policy into like 8 weeks. It's kind of ridiculous. So, yes, he is now taking this opportunity, since he is essentially getting, kicked out. Well, I might as well say it to Israel one final time and make sure that they know I don't support them. And,
yes.
And just as you said, exactly, we, the U.S., have always vetoed anything at the UN Security Council that was damaging to Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a very big departure from normal policy in regards to Israel as well. So, and I think one of the other things that's interesting about this story is that Egypt was, they were going to push for it. They're going to bring it to the Security Council. And then Trump, who kind of seems like he's basically president right now, talks to Egypt and says, maybe you don't want to do that. And Egypt says, okay, well, maybe we won't. And then somebody else does it.
Mm-hmm.
New Zealand and Singapore. It's like, really?
Really?
There's another one, too.
And Venezuela. Venezuela, our friend.
Oh, that's right. Because this is important for Venezuela.
They're falling apart, but this is important. Okay.
This is important. So, yeah. And legitimately, this resolution, because it did pass, it wasn't vetoed, will to some degree be difficult to get rid of. I think this is also one of the cases where it's probably, we're all generally pretty happy the UN doesn't actually have any real power.
Exactly. But the whole idea here that I fear, because when you realize that you are the most powerful man in the world and you have less than 20 days left in the game, the one thing you could do on Martin Luther King Jr. birthday is to recognize Palestine as a legitimate government. That's what I fear, which would create such a crisis for America. I mean, because we've been working with Iran, which is a terrorist nation. Palestine is no less than a terrorist nation as well. To have the endorsement of not only Fidel Castro in Cuba, but to endorse Iran, and then on the way out the door, to actually make Palestine a living state, that would be a crushing blow to Israel from the U.S. Your thought? Am I going too far on the ledge on this one?
Well, let me say several things. So one, I don't think it will happen.
Okay.
That said, it definitely could happen. It could happen. Okay. Obama's ability to throw Israel and our other allies under the bus is quite amazing. So I wouldn't put it past him. I don't think it will happen. I would bet it wouldn't happen, but I'm not going to rule it out completely. All right. So there's that.
Yeah.
And yes, if it did happen, that would be very bad.
That would be. I know you and I have talked about, we were well ahead of everybody on North Korea. We were well ahead of everybody on the South China Sea. And I'm not trying to be, provocative. I'm just saying, if you really wanted to put your finger with salt on the end of it into someone's eye, that would be the way to do it. Especially since you couldn't shut down Guantanamo Bay because Congress wouldn't let you. This is the one thing that you can do as the ambassador for the U.S. and chief ambassador for the U.S., commander-in-chief and president of the United States. You could literally, in an exercise of a resolution, accept the Palestine Liberation Organization, Palestine, as a state, a de facto state. Wow.
The lining here, if this were to happen, which would definitely, as I said, be bad, we can, when Trump comes to office, basically take it back and say, well, we now no longer recognize the state of Palestine. So that is doable. That is doable. But in the sense of that at some point the U.S. recognized a legitimate Palestine, yeah, that would not. It would be bad. It would not be good. Israel would be rightfully very angry. Relations would really deteriorate, and Trump would have a lot of work. I think that he could probably do it, but I think you and I both agree that we really don't want that relationship to fracture any more than it already is.
Exactly, and that would, and we got to go to a quick break, but that would literally put more on his plate than needed to be, which would divert him from stuff that needs to be done. I just think he is such a, for Melanie who's in the chat room, because she's so very, very young, please put your hands over your ear, Melanie. He is such a pussy that he would do this stunt right before he leaves. I'm just saying that. That's just where we are talking with Janis Hall, the J Hall World Report. When we come back, we want to talk about Finland and how Finland has decided that they should go for broke and go literally for broke doing it. We'll be right back with more of the best in urban conservative talk right after these messages.
So today I have a Shein sign. Shein and Shein. Shein from Shein. It is this beautiful maroon, like shiny, easily becoming one of my favorite sweaters that I own. I like this one so much more. They're just so nice and I like it. It feels nice. They're food and stuff. My websites have always wondered about the quality. I really, really love it. It's really cute. I love it. Love a good graphic tee. I really like it. I love, really like the style. I love the style. I really liked it. Yeah, I love it. It's so cute. It's a romper that is beautiful. I just love it. I've been wearing this like for hours.
Hi, my name is Christopher Arnold. I'm the executive chef of Infused Restaurant, and today I'm gonna walk you through some of the meals that we prepare here. We're making a pizza. We use fresh Italian sausage that we cook here and slice it up. Our pizza dough is in-house made. Our pizza sauce is in-house made. So everything is fresh and ingredients. This is our Thai curry chicken. The sauce is made with coconut milk and the Thai red curry. It is juicy chicken thighs as well as some mixed vegetables, served with jasmine rice and pita bread. So now we're going to prepare our famous blackened tilapia and grits, our fish and grits on the menu. Once the fish is ready, then our meal will be complete. Let me tell you about our infused heat burger. So we kick the spice up just a little bit with our infused sauce. We start off with 80-20 USDA ground chuck ham patty burgers, like half a pound of burgers, and we're going to grill it to perfection. After I flip the burger, we add the sauce and let it cook on into the meat just a little bit. We're going to add a little bit of pepper jack cheese to this burger to spice it up a bit. Order up!
6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland, ladies and gentlemen. That's where you need to be. And on Thursday night, I promise you, I will have the exceptional one, that huge burger right here. I'm expecting the unpleasant blind guy to be here so I can eat it in front of him. 6339 Allentown Road. Please make it the place you visit this weekend, actually this weeknight, for dinner. We're talking right now with Janis Hall of J Hall World Report. I so love the fact that she's back for Christmas holidays. Everybody knows that Tuesday nights, talk about world affairs, is what I adore. But in an age where everyone across the world, I mean, when you look at France, when you look at Italy, when you look at Great Britain, my God, even Germany is showing fizzlers and cracks. Everyone's seemingly moving towards the right and becoming more conservative. Why isn't Finland? I seem to have.
Oh, now I hear you.
There you go. All right, great.
You were like, I couldn't hear you there for a little while.
So why Finland? Why is Finland deciding that, you know what, this is all just a ruse? We need to go as far left as we possibly can.
Oh, because they're Finland. I mean, I don't really have a good answer for this. And why do people go liberal? I don't know, because that's not how I think. Yeah. So the universal basic income, depending on how you do it exactly, basically the idea of giving everybody, kind of a fixed income, getting rid of then of all the social services that support them. It's been an idea. It's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty popular with very liberal sectors, as you can imagine. And Finland has decided that they're going to try and see if it works. So they're going to give people money, a monthly stipend, whether they're working or not.
Whether they're working or not.
Whether they're working or not.
Oh my God! Oh!
And we're going to hope that this gets them to work.
I am. When I saw that, I was completely in awe. It was unfathomable to me. I can literally understand for a few weeks that you do that for those who are unemployed or distressed, at the very most. But you're going to pay people who are working to keep working? I was like,
I will say, it is interesting that at least it's someone else doing this, and Finland can try it out. They can test it. When it doesn't work, they can try and take it away, but of course they won't be able to because they never actually seem to take entitlements away from people. We will then at least have some real world examples of how the universal basic income works.
My God. Finland, congratulations. You are on the mark on the Exceptional Conservative Show. I'm being facetious with you. Whatever you do, whoever your leaders are, and I know that you're a very liberal state over there, sovereign state, and this probably sounded good when you were at the cafe eating your Norwegian meals and things. It was probably just the greatest thing in the world to think about doing. But when you start applying this on paper, this is just at the nth level of insanity. Paying people who are getting paid to work to keep working, and then paying people who are not working to go try to find something to work. Why not just stop taking taxes from people and let people keep their own money? Wouldn't that work better?
I would hope so. I kind of like that idea.
Oh my God. Oh.
But, we're not liberals.
We're not liberals. We don't
live in Finland.
We're not, when I look at that and look at what we do, we're not as bad as that, but we are going well down that road. I want to ask you also about another story before we get back to some of the other big things, because there's stuff that's happening around the world that leads into big stories because the big news medias are not covering it. We cover it first and then they copy us. But apparently there was a mass sex attack in India. And one of the ministers, one of the governmental leaders, made an abhorrent statement that wow. Can you tell us about that Indian minister?
So, yeah. So, essentially, over New Year's, had some, young people are partying, and as you were saying, there is a massive sex attack on several women, and he basically said that the reason this happened was because they were dressed like Westerners. This has not gone over too well. Or anywhere else, really, for that matter.
They were sexually assaulted because they dressed like Westerners.
Yeah.
If only they had a hijab on, this wouldn't have happened, right?
It in the same vein as that. Yes, yes it is.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're traveling to India, make sure that you do not have Western wear on, because that gives them permission and justification for raping you. And for the good people who are listening in India, you can always send me an email. You can call the program and let me know how it is that you would justify rape because of what a woman's wearing.
I mean, the good news is, I will say, with India, they've obviously had some very high-profile sexual assaults.
Yeah.
And it is significantly a problem there. I do think, though, that a lot of these assaults are becoming high-profile. They are getting a lot of attention. And there does seem to be a significant amount of anger about it. In India. So that does at least give me some hope that times are changing.
Wow. But not fast enough, I tell you. Anytime you cannot justify rape. You just can't. Listen, other issues that are happening around the world. And Melanie's in the chat room saying, wow, just wow. Yeah, you when you first saw that article, were you left speechless too? That someone would say that?
Well, I mean, it takes a lot to make me speechless. So, not really, but, yeah.
It's up there. It's up there. Apparently, Barack Obama is doing such a wonderful job in his relationship with Turkey that we don't have to worry about terrorist attacks in Turkey, right?
No. Yeah. No terrorist attacks in Turkey. Yeah. That was another big news thing that happened over New Year's. A lot of news. I'm sorry to be gone for 2 weeks.
I know.
Everything just goes crazy.
You can't do that anymore. No.
I'm not allowed. Yeah, over New Year's. There was a lot of stuff happening over New Year's, which I guess makes sense. So, big shooting attack in Turkey. I think it was like 39 people have died. Dozens more injured. Just huge, it was bad. It was very bad. And ISIS is taking responsibility for it. They've arrested some people that they think were involved, but they're still looking. And I will point out that the Kurds were very vocal in the fact that they didn't have anything to do with this.
Of course not. Of course not.
So, and I don't think they did. I think that this was definitely all ISIS and other Islamic extremists. So, yeah.
But isn't this part of that payback that ISIS is having because of what Turkey agreed to do with the U.S. in terms of bombing in Syria, that they could use the the air bases in Turkey?
Yeah.
This is payback.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes and no. I think it's related to that. I think it's related to just wanting to shoot up a New Year's Eve party.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons. And I mean, and that was just one. There was, of course, there was a terrorist attack in Berlin that happened not long after, I came out here to California.
Yeah.
That happened too.
Yeah.
So terrorist attacks are going to keep happening.
Exactly.
Everywhere. In Muslim countries, in non-Muslim countries, and even here.
So in all, we know that this stuff is happening. And they are encouraged by the fact that there individuals that don't mind taking up the cause of being a soldier without a immediate attachment to the organization. It's a very has a lot of tentacles with no real attachment to the organization, ISIS. So they're encouraged, and so these guys have decided, you know what, we can create absolute chaos wherever we go, and there's no one who's going to stop us. Will Donald Trump work with Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping and China to collectively work? Because all of those major countries are under attack from ISIS at this particular point. Will we work with these particular nations to defeat ISIS?
I would hope we will. I mean, obviously, if Obama has his way, no. But I hope that we do, especially with Russia, where I think we have, as I said before, I think that we have some, we're pretty closely aligned, and we both have a pretty significant problem with Islamists and terrorism. Exactly. And I definitely, do hope that they can make a difference. I will say, though, in a kind of a grand, bigger picture, I'm still not entirely, convinced that, this will be, like, even if they were able to do very good things in the Middle East, I'm still not entirely convinced that would be the end. I think ISIS is, to some degree, just also another symptom. The problem really is, Muslims who feel that their religion and their culture is being taken over by the West and have aggressively lashed out at everything that is Western.
Yep.
And I don't think that that's going to go away anytime soon. And I think even as ISIS is being, pushed back and kind of being rooted out of Syria and Iraq, this is still going to continue. A lot of the terrorists are already moving over to Afghanistan, and it's still going to keep going. It may not be ISIS, it might have another name, it might be in another location, but another group will emerge. Wow. And I think that we will still continue to see terrorist attacks.
Wow. Until we isolate and eliminate, this would just be the course of conversation whenever we tune in on our program. ISIS attacks all over the place. Janis, thank you so much for coming back with the J Hall World Report for the new year, the first episode in the new year for the J Hall World Report. God bless you. We look forward to you coming back next Tuesday night.
Always. Thank you.
Thank you. This has just been a wonderful, wonderful program, and I'm going to do my best to close it out after this break. The non-commercial portion of our radio program, White Mamba has it very, very succinct. Islam is the problem. Dr. Warner is the man when it comes down to it. His problem is with Islam, not Muslims, status per se. If you isolate and eliminate, you might have a chance. But otherwise, I would encourage everyone to listen to the Brownell commercial coming up and do what it tells you to do. Protect your own. We'll be back with more of the best in Urban Conservative Talk right after these messages.
From day's first light till night's last glimmer, your satisfaction is our responsibility. on the range or in the field of duty, you can rely on Brownell's lifetime guaranteed gun parts, tools, and supplies. Anytime, any place. It's how we've done business since 1939. Brownell's.
The bloviating Zeppelin. He's big-footed enough radio shows to last a lifetime, courtesy of Sean, Clint, Ken, and Jersey Joe. Now it's time for him to waddle on his own 2 feet via the glorious SHR media. Gird thy loins for the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, coming soon to articles near you. Excelsior.
So what do you think about ebooks? Maybe you've never read an ebook before, but you're considering giving it a try. Or maybe you've been reluctant to try ebooks because you don't want to buy another expensive electronic device. Or maybe you already enjoy ebooks, but you haven't been able to find titles from your favorite Christian authors. Whatever your situation, ChristianBook.com has the solution. Your trusted source for print books for over 30 years now offers ebooks. Our always free CBD reader allows you to read on the devices you already own without spending money on a new device. Thousands of Christian ebooks at ChristianBook.com means you can shop with confidence and choose from the titles you want. Plus, we are adding new titles all the time. Browse our huge selection of low-priced Christian ebooks the same way you would printed books, only now you can go from shopping to reading in seconds. Simply select the ebook you wish to purchase, confirm your account information, and start reading. Free samples of every ebook are available, so you can preview the book first, before you buy it. Plus, there's no lengthy app downloads and updates. Accessing the CBD Reader is as easy as going to cbdreader.christianbook.com and bookmarking the page. The CBD Reader holds your ebooks and bookmarks for you, no matter what device you're on. So, you can take your entire ebook library wherever you go and pick up right where you left off. Our customizable options make it possible to read your ebooks in different font sizes and styles. Want a large print version? You've got it in seconds with a simple click of the mouse. Already own a dedicated e-reader? Download your ebooks to your computer from a ChristianBook.com account and transfer them to your device. Try ebooks at ChristianBook.com and start reading your favorite books in seconds. Easy, economical, everywhere you want to read. Welcome to ChristianBook.com ebooks.
Thank you for taking the call. And I really enjoy ICRN, your station, the station I listen to all day.
No, okay, thanks, Dominique, for that. I don't.
From the war front to the streets of our nation's capital, men of faith, Dr. Michael Jones, the underground professor, and Kenneth McClinton, the exceptional conservative, bring both constitutional gravitas and spiritual perspective on today's issues to the most influential Christian urban talk show, 9:05 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays. It's a new day on New Day, Black and Red.
Welcome to Lion Chasers, where faith and public policy intersect. And now, your lion chaser in the good fight of faith, Lonnie Poindexter, on Urban Family Talk.
We're not saying that there's not instances where there's maybe racial injustice somewhere. This is America, and people are human, and there's sin in the world. He's the president of first. He's the first president to say that America is not a Christian nation any longer. But, we'll pray for our enemies while we defeat them.
You can't blame folks for messing up the city. There has not been an elected Republican in council in Baltimore City in over 50 years.
And the co-captain's chair with me today, Reverend Ralph Chittins.
What's happened is the social justice movement has now been hijacked by a godless movement.
Don't be bamboozled. Ladies and gentlemen, Frederick Douglass was a gun-toting conservative. It's not a black or a white issue. It's a God versus anti-God issue. And I know those would say, well, it's all rigged. It's all a game, Lonnie. I kind of get that a lot. And there are the crew that has their bags packed at the train station waiting for Jesus to come back. We'll be here in a minute. On the train, on the train, in Jesus. but he's coming. Meanwhile, Rome is burning. The host of the Black Man Thinking radio show. Welcome to the show, Stanley Levy.
Good morning, Ronnie. How are you?
The core issue the bull elephants aren't in the home. We got to do away with the entitlement programs and the things that hamstring us.
And that's where the conservative viewpoints really resonate for my generation.
I want to welcome to the show the host of the Exceptional Conservative Show, and that's my brother Kenneth McClinton. Welcome, brother.
Ronnie, it's an honor and privilege always to be with your ever-expanding audience.
Let your listeners be lion chasers with Lonnie Poindexter. If Lion Chasers sounds right for your station or network, contact Will Addison by email, waddison@afa.net. Encourage your listeners to be lion chasers with Lonnie Poindexter and Urban Family Talk.
Oh, Big Papa, do that slow dance, man. Oh.
You know the night time.
I only got one move, baby. I can mix it up for you if you like, but baby, I only got one move.
Say now, oh, baby.
Yes.
Well, now, come on, baby. Now. I want to be the one I love. Now.
Yes.
You know what I'm thinking of. On the night time.
When's the right time?
Oh, it's the right time to be the one you love. Now.
Yeah.
I said to be the one you love.
Hit it, girl.
You know my mother now.
Yeah.
And the dying now. When my father, the before child of God.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are heard all around the world.
Now come on, baby, now.
We are the most exceptional conservative show, the most exceptional conservative network. We are the most exceptional. All you need to do is plug in, tune in, and we will change the world. What you say, Ray? Get that girl to sing. Sing it, baby.
Sing it, somebody.
Yeah. When's the right time, baby? Go. I don't know about y'all. I don't know. I really don't know what I would do. And I don't have to worry about this anymore because I'm happily married with my lovely wife, Mrs. Biggs. But I don't know what I would do if there was a woman outside my window singing that to me, you know. Do you call the police or what? I don't understand. Welcome back to our non-commercial portion of the Exceptional Conservative Show. I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight and listening. We've had a wonderful night. We started off with Melanie Collette. Money Talk with Melanie begins on Monday, January the 16th at 10 a.m. And it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of every week at 10 a.m. And she's going to get real with economics for all of us. Not hate on the data. Let's not hate on the data. I agree with you, Melanie. Looking forward to that. And she already has a Facebook page out. And she'll probably be working on the Twitter page later on this evening. And we'll add that to our TECN page. We're very excited. I really think that's going to be a very successful program. I just think that maybe someone from Fox News might pick her up. You know what I'm saying? Although on my program, I do require people to wear knee-length skirts. I know on Fox News they don't require that. You know, you can wear booty call outfits on Fox News. You know, whatever makes them watch. That's all that matters. So I'm very, very excited with this opportunity. White Mamba, Diva Melanie Money Talk. There you go. Everybody knows she's a diva. She's a diva. You can see it. You don't have to meet her. You can just see the picture. She's a diva. Okay. Which means she would probably not be dating Drake. She would be probably dating the Reddit chairman that's marrying Serena. I'm just saying. I know I'm going to hear complaints about this, and I'm probably going to hear on Lonnie and Ralph when I'm on their program later on this week. Not on TECN, but on his Lion Chaser program. I'm probably going to hear Ken freakum dress. No, we are not having any freakum dress. I'm probably going to hear Ken. That's a little. That's shallow thinking, Ken. You need a woman is just going to look at a guy and say, "Hey, I love him," and there's some women that do. I'm not against that. If that's what you want, that's fine. But many of the women I've known in my lifetime, the number one thing that they were looking for after they got all that clubism out of them, after they went through their early 20s and they got all that clubbing stuff out of them, because between 12 and like 28, maybe 32, women are finding the bad guys and trying to make good guys out of them. After that, they are tired of the adventure of the bad guy. They want to find a good guy to settle down with, have children with, and they want to make certain that that person can secure her long term and as well the children on a midterm basis, meaning that after age 18, you're on your own. Not J-Lo Diva. Aretha has has talent. Yeah. So I know a lot of people say, well, Ken, that's kind of shallow what you were talking about earlier with Melanie, because you got really deep with Willie in terms of the philosophical pursuits of conservative talk. You went a shallow way with Melanie, and so you show a different way to the women on your program than you do the men. I'm just saying to you, in this particular avenue of thinking, see, I'm trying to deal with this before I get the complaints, before I get the emails. Can we just be real? After about age 32, a woman wants to know that the bills are going to be paid, the mortgage is going to be paid, she can take her weekend with the girls and not have to worry about lights being turned off. She has a car that she can drive, and quite frankly, when she makes it to Sunday morning service, that she has a dress that she can wear that's appropriate. The thing that she wore 4 hours ago on the dance floor at the local club, she doesn't want to wear that to church. She wants to have options. By children, you mean another dog? No, I'm talking children. So people. So I'm just saying, and maybe I'll talk with Ralph and Lonnie about this, the concept of finance. Because when you look at this, and this is not what I want to talk about, but I have to go here. Before God put people in the Eden, he created Eden for them. Meaning he created every resource that they would need to take care of themselves. He made certain that they had a job from the very beginning, so they were working. Made certain that they were in an arrangement that was covenantal and not culturally accepted. That they had roles and responsibilities. His role was to teach and to lead. Her role was to help him and point out when he wasn't doing it right. And I want to say most women have conquered that by age 2. So they got that down pat, boy. I know what you ain't doing right. If we really want to change America, we're not looking for the government to create jobs. Donald Trump has made promises to bring jobs back here, and I believe he will when Congress and others begin to work together to make certain that our tax policies are in right order, our immigration policies are in right order, that our inheritance tax laws are in right order, that companies are not penalized because they're small. When we're able to do that, we will be able to create the jobs that are necessary to pay people well. However, the onus is on us as parents to recognize that our children need more, and we need to be able to produce children that will provide for the safety and protection of the next generation. And what we have done is actually borrow, over the past 8 years, $10 trillion from about 4 or 5 future generations and brought that present. And now we have to pay not only that principal back, but also the tedious amount of billions of dollars of interest. That makes people very uncertain and very shaky. In a government where you're able to print money, if people feel uncomfortable and shaky, i.e. Venezuela, i.e. Greece, it makes it very, very difficult to follow out any social order. Likewise in the home. When the woman, when the mother, when the wife is uncertain and does not feel safe, there will not be peace in the house. And so part of actually changing America is restoring the peace in our home. We have to go back and we have to be honest with our children. Listen, I know that you like Shakespearean history, but that's not going to make you $100,000 a year unless you can find a gig that will do that for you. You need to be into technology. You need to have a vocation. It's okay to do plumbing while you're reading scripts from Hamlet. You know, it's okay. The bottom line is that we need to be teaching our sons to be the best, most profitable protectors of the women in our culture. And I know you're going to sit back and listen to this show and say, that was really chauvinistic. I can do bad by myself. I can make it on my own. I'm just going to say to you, statistically, you're proving that not to be correct. When 80% of the women in Washington, D.C. are single parents, and over 40% of them qualify for the EITC, it tells you everything that you need to know. We need to make certain that our nation is safe by taking care of the national debt. We better make certain that our women are safe by making certain that our sons are trained to be protectors of the home. Just as you will have a linebacker stand in the middle of the football field at the 50-yard line and kick his leg into the air, or at least his knee into the air, and scream out, "We must protect the house." Ladies and gentlemen, start teaching your children to protect the house. Have them listen to TECN with Melanie and also Willie Lawson to take back our nation. If we don't do that, then it doesn't matter what we do with the national debt. We will incur the same consequences negatively impacting our future. Let's start from the now on to take care of our families. If you didn't hear anything else tonight, don't remember anything else I said, I want you to remember this. God bless America. It's time for America to bless God. We'll see you tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, on the Exceptional Conservative Show on the Exceptional Conservative Network. And I also want to thank SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Media, and as well, Red Nation Rising for broadcasting us. Good night and God bless, live from Washington, D.C.
You know the night time,
do my granddaddy dance.
It's the right time to be with the one you love.
Only got 2 steps, baby.
Say now, oh baby, well now come on, baby.
Love you, Dad.
I wanna meet the one I love. You know what I'm thinking of. I know that time. to be the one you love now. I said to be the one you love. You know my brother now, and the dying now. You know my father, love me from child.